I'm Jarisar. With me is Jay Morrow. Take it away, my friend.
Absolutely, guys. Quick transition, but I like the music. So, spawning down here in the bottom left corner of Daybreak, we do have Acer Scarlett as our purple Zerg.
And she is going to be going up against the green Zerg, who's currently in the top right position on Daybreak. Let's see what he can do here in the ZvZ in the winners bracket round 4 here. It is Sleep.
Every time I look up at Sleep's name, I keep thinking that we're supposed to put a team in front of him, but I keep forgetting that he's teamless. It's so crazy to think somebody of Sleep's caliber hasn't picked up by a team yet.
Well, tournaments like this are going to be really good place, to be honest, for players like Sleep to showcase their skills and just show how far they can go in such an unbelievably stacked bracket. 72 of the world's finest players here. We've seen some crazy big names get knocked completely out of the tournament in the lower bracket round 2, 3, 4, like really early on in the tournament here. Crazy times, and nothing better really to get your name out there than to just keep winning.
And unfortunately, we just heard that MMA was eliminated. How depressing is that?
Oh, wow. MMA has been eliminated as well?
This is one of the first winners round games we've casted in a while. Actually, this is winners round 4. Both these players have gone this far on. I mean, Sleep, somebody who has always had really high expectations to him, is doing very well at this tournament so far.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, but the problem is he's up against a pretty strong opponent in Scarlett. I mean, she has been on a tear so far, and she's showing no signs of slowing down. So both players going for their hatcheries first here. Everything pretty chilled out here so far on Daybreak. I mean, who do you want to win, Jay? Let's talk predictions, and let's talk who is going to go far in this bracket.
So here's the problem I have. I like Scarlett as a person. I think she's a really cool person, and I feel like she deserves a win, but I've been a big fan of Sleep for a very long time. I've watched him play every time I can. So this is a really hard decision for me, but I kind of want to see Scarlett do it just because I feel like she has a better chance of beating anything that comes her way along the way.
That might be a good point, actually. I mean, Sleep, he's so talented, but he hasn't really had, I would say, that tournament yet where he sort of breaks into top tier by defeating sort of 3 or 4 in a row, and everyone sort of looks at him and goes, wow. Whereas Scarlett's had 1 or 2 of those and has the potential to sort of like cause a couple more upsets later on in the tournament. So I totally see where you're coming from there. And we'll have to see what happens, though, in this best of 3. Both players are mirroring each other more or less to the T so far. Of course, the rush distance here on Daybreak really long, won't be able to go through the middle of the map because of those destructible rocks as well, so they have to go either above or below. Makes for early game aggression a little bit more awkward, but of course you do see it from time to time for people to throw each other off guard. I'll have to see what these guys end up choosing for their tech routes once they grab their gas. Yeah,
and what I love about watching Scarlett play is usually when you get a good feel for what she's doing in a specific matchup, that's usually what she's going to do for the rest of the tournament. She usually has one specific type that she's going to do at a tournament, and she just seems to do it very well and gets it very perfectly done. So, you know, I feel like if just watching game 1, we'll get a really good idea of where Scarlett's headed in this matchup.
Well, I think that's a really good point, actually. Have you managed to see a lot of Scarlett's ZvZ from earlier on in the tournament?
I haven't. I've been chained to this desk all day.
So we'll see. Oh, and looks like Scarlett is going to be the first to go for a baneling nest, though. So, and that might end up being part of a SimCity at the natural expansion there. We see it positioned near to the ramp, so potentially another building or 2 can go to force Sleep to go the long way around. And Sleep is not getting a baneling nest of his own, so it's not exactly something slightly later or anything like that. He, in fact, is going to be going straight for his Roach Warren.
Ooh, kind of an interesting matchup here. Usually, you know, I don't want to say usually, but more than the average right now, I'm actually seeing a lot of baneling play from a lot of players. They're going hatch first, getting a decent amount of gas, and then going for the banelings defensively, and then transitioning up. But actually, Scarlett, she's getting her second gas geyser, and there's her lair at the 5-minute and 51-second mark.
All right, so pretty quick layer coming out from Scarlett in comparison to Sleep. Roach Warren is nearly complete, though, so let's see if he wants to go for some sort of attack here early on. Supplies more or less dead even at around 40 right now, and if we take a quick look at the worker count, they're actually dead even at 34 as well. So we just have a little bit of a difference as far as tech goes, and it looks like Sleep is actually going to be going for this timing. 7, now 8 roaches in production.
Now, we did actually see this earlier today when I was casting with Sham2. This is something we saw a little bit of feigned aggression come out, but to be honest, with 8 roaches and 8 Zerglings in production, I don't think it's actually going to be feigned. I think that Sleep is actually opting to go for a little bit of pressure timing here. 12 Zerglings are in production now, so he's really going to go for this. He's got a little bit of supply left available to him, and so he'll build a couple more units here. He doesn't have a baneling nest, so these are only going to be speedlings with these roaches.
Oh, well, oh, wow, that's a decent army there, actually. Is Sleep going to drone behind this? It looks like he is at the moment, or is he going to be trying to pour more and more Zergs into Scarlett, starting approximately a metric ton of spine crawlers as soon as she sees that aggression coming in. Now Sleep moving in with the links, trying to get the spine crawlers to cancel. Defensive bailing from Scarlett, taking out a decent number of them, but here comes Sleep with the rest of his army. The Roach is now moving up the ramp. Is it going to be enough? There's Scarlett rallying a decent number of lings out, and I think Sleep is going to be pushed back.
Yeah, I think Scarlett did a really good job there holding off. She needed 10 seconds to her life, and she definitely made it there. Scarlett with the Spire on the way, it looks like Sleep going up to lair, going up to a third hatchery, and grabbing 3 gas geysers at the same time. So Sleep definitely knowing how to follow this up. This was not an all-in by any means, and so this is going to be kind of tricky. It looks like he's going to continue with the Roach tech for a little bit longer.
But now Scarlett, of course, with that significantly earlier lair, obviously Sleep tried to go for a little bit of a timing there, didn't quite get that to work out, and as a result, Scarlett already has a Spire about halfway complete, and Sleep's going for a third. This could be great for Scarlett. This counterattack might end up doing a bit of damage. The Roaches, though, they're in time. Once the Mutas get there, though, I think Scarlett's going to have an excellent time being able to basically bat Sleep around for a little while because his lair's so late.
And what I love about Scarlett's defense there, what did she build? She built spine crawlers. They only cost minerals, so now she has 750 gas banked up that she's going to be able to pour all of it into Mutalisk and be able to harass Sleep very, very hard. And, you know, of course, I don't think Sleep has scouted anything as of yet. As far as the Spire goes, no, he has not. So this is going to come to a complete surprise to him.
Oh, and yeah, let's see a second round of Roaches popping in, but the problem is the Spire is now completing. Scarlett should be able to start. Look at that, 8 Mutas already on the way. So she should be able to come in and defend against this Roach push if she decides, or she could attempt to go straight into the main base. Now, we do have 3 Spore Coils and a Hydralisk coming out from Sleep, so the correct, appropriate response to this from Scarlett. Will she be able to defend? We'll find out in just a moment. It looks like the third is definitely going to be cancelled. The Mutas cannot get out in time.
It looks like the Zerglings are going to get up in the main here. Are they going to do any damage? It doesn't matter. They already see what they need to see. The Mutalisks are on the field. Are they going to target down the Queen? They are not going to be able to. And it looks like the third was destroyed, maybe? I didn't see the cancel on it. There wasn't a drone left over, but it looks like regardless, the third has been stopped. It looks like we are getting the Hydralisk upgrade, and 9 Hydras are in production.
Yeah, that's, wow, going up to 11 as well. So Sleep really wanting to make sure that these Mutas get absolutely no damage done. Hydra's going to be a big part of his army composition here. Scarlett, though, transitioning out of these Mutas, we can see that she has gone for that infestation pit. And Sleep's used a lot of gas on these Hydras, don't forget. Does Sleep actually have an infestation pit down?
He does not that I've seen so far. And I actually really like this transition from Scarlett, as you were talking about, going straight into Infestors. I feel like that's something that a lot of players do mistakenly, is they opt to just sit on one tech for too long, and then they get stuck on it.
Sure.
And they overinvest into it, putting 1,500 gas into it. But Scarlett, she's just going to go straight over to Pathogen Glands, go back to her ranged upgrades, and start going for the Roach Infestor play.
That's a great point, and she's actually going to be ahead as far as those upgrades are concerned very shortly indeed. Pathogen Glands already about a third of the way complete, so she will be able to start Infestor production after this next round of drones. We've got +1 in Glider Constitution coming up. Sure, we have the higher DPS as far as Sleep is concerned because he has got those Hydralisks, but Hydras are very squishy units, man, and Fungal's kind of useful.
And it looks like the Mutalisks are on the north side of the map, not doing a whole lot right now. I don't think too many workers have been killed, only 5 right now. So nothing too crazy with the Mutalisks. There are 4 Infestors in production, and right now Sleep does have a pretty big upgrade advantage. He's already starting +2, Sleep has +2, about a third of the way done, versus Scarlett, who's just about to finish +1.
And for those of you wondering why those Mutas were flying around the top of the map, of course, Scarlett is going Overlord hunting at the moment. She knows that the Spore Crawlers and Queens and potentially Hydralisks are fine for Sleep on his half of the map, so she is just going to make sure that he has absolutely no map vision whatsoever. In fact, if we take a quick look at Scarlett's map vision there, it just looks pretty good, and she will be able to spot this attack coming very, very early indeed, although the Mutas just move. Oh, ships in the night moment there, Jay, as the Mutas walk straight past the army, but Sleep is actually heading home.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully he's not going to push her now. His +2 would not be done in time for that aggression. If he times out just a little bit longer, it looks like it should finish about this time now, but it looks like right now Sleep does have 10 more Roaches in production. He is currently supply capped, only 1 Overlord in production, and Scarlett is on her back foot. She's going to have to play very, very defensive here. of course, with these Hydralisks, the Mutalisks really can't come into too much play, especially once they get on creep.
Scarlett needs a couple of good fungals to delay this as well. And to be honest, if we get a decent amount of chain fungals up, she might be able to do a decent amount of damage. We have got the... Spinecrawl is helping out at the top of this ramp here. Great choice there, Scarlett, trying to get a little bit of damage done with the Mutalisk. And let's see if Sleep decides to move in. It looks like he isn't at this time. The Overseer sees everything, and he's deciding not to push in.
Yeah, I'm surprised Scarlett hasn't taken that out yet. That's actually very important for Sleep, but it looks like actually Sleep's getting a perfect concave. Look at this right here. A nice fungos on the left-hand side for Scarlett. A couple of invested Terrans do go down, but it's definitely Sleep has a 30 supply advantage. She is pushing forward. +2 is not done, so this aggression does come out a little bit early from Sleep, but Scarlett is pushing back, and man, this is close. Look how many red and orange units Sleep has on the field.
Yeah, he has to be very careful here. Scarlett basically needs 1 or 2 more fungal growths, and then she'd be able to clean this up easy peasy. It looks like it's a very close battle at the moment. Sleep currently had 146 supply to 124, and Scarlett even bringing the drones out for a little bit of extra DPS, but sending them back to mine. Not a lot of them were lost there. In fact, I don't think any of them were lost quite just then, but Sleep's reinforcements are huge.
Yeah, now that +2 is finished, so these units are starting to really pack a punch. The drones have been pulled again. The last two infestors may get targeted down here from Sleep, and Scarlett is definitely on her back foot, pulling more and more drones all the way down to 17 worker kills from Sleep so far. All of these units are in the red, but I think Sleep, it doesn't matter at this point. He is pushing forward. Units coming from both sides, even with a bit of a move command there. I think he may just kill the third off here.
That was very close in that initial engagement, but Sleep opting not to drone behind it, continuously producing more units, and that's what made the difference, Jay, in the second push. Burrowing to regain hit points on those roaches as well. Great choice there. Scarlett defended so well in the first push. Those fungal growths did unbelievably immaculate job of staying at the execution of the third base potentially, but then the follow-up from Sleep was just a little bit too strong, and Scarlett's infestors by that point didn't have the energy they needed.
Yeah, and here comes one final blow from Sleep. He's actually going to push forward here. +2 is just about done for Scarlett, but it is not going to make it in time. I think Sleep is just going to overpower his opponent right now, and it looks like the Spinecrawlers are not going to finish. There's the GG from Scarlett, and wow, man, that was so dominant fashion for Sleep.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Scarlett opened the game with those mutas. We saw that, and she actually didn't get to do too much done with them, I have to say, but nice transition into the infestors. She got pathogen glands down pretty darn quick, and she had infestors out to defend against the first push of Sleep. It looked like Scarlett was doing everything she needed to try and make sure she could hold off the army, but Sleep was just creating that army for that much longer. Those Hydralisks added so much DPS, and if that first engagement, Scarlett had maybe an extra, let's say, 2 fungal growths, a lot of units would have gone down there for Sleep, and that could have changed the entire landscape, but it's literally that close, and then Sleep built on that, and there was a snowball effect.
Welcome to ZvZ, right?
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy your